Hi, I'm here with Rob, CEO of QBE Asia. So I'm going to be asking you a few questions. So firstly, to start off, what do you see as the biggest opportunities for the insurance industry over the next decade?
Well, first, I'll start by reflecting on the history of insurance. And I think insurance has always thrived in complexity, uncertainty, right from the first sort of marine policies to help secure cross-continental transport. I think the more uncertain the world becomes, the more insurance can step up to the challenge. So I think all the threats that we're talking about, global warming, natural catastrophes, here in Asia, health protection gaps, a lot of those challenges, uncertainties for people is where insurance can help create certainty out of the uncertainty.
Definitely, thanks for pointing that out as well. So also I want to move on to the next question. In what ways can insurers prepare for the evolving expectations of the next generation of customers?
Lots, I guess, would be the simple answer. But the more complicated answer is I think insurance hasn't necessarily always thought about customers the same way other organisations and industries have, who are much more customer facing, whether it's retail, fast moving consumable goods. They have a very clear view of who their customer is and have been working for decades on trying to map those journeys and identify where they add value. I think insurance has been a little bit legacy driven, so we tend to offer products and those products are bought by customers, and so we become much more focused on product innovation rather than sort of customer journey. But I think because we're competing so naturally alongside the Googles and Teslas of this world who are thinking about getting into insurance, we can't stop at our insurance boundary. So I think the most innovative thing we can do is get back to basics, and regardless of what our customers require and what evolving or changing needs, is go back to that customer first principle, understand what our customers expect of us, map out that journey, try and be there in the moments that matter for them, put ourselves in their shoes, and then work backwards from that. And if we can ingrain that into our culture and investment philosophy, we will be able to respond no matter what the customer needs, because it's for certain always changing.
Yeah, it sounds like at QBE, you guys are not just only looking at product innovation, but also being customer centric, be customer first as well.
Yeah, look, absolutely. So in 2018, we rechanged our strategic priorities, our purpose statement and our sort of vision for ourselves, and we've been kind of refreshing those. But we introduced that kind of customer first, customer centered principle back in 2018, just to make a real statement to our teams about the importance of it. And then really a lot of our leaders and sort of leadership behaviour about what we spend our time doing, the stories we tell, have all been about kind of recognising the challenges that customers face, whether it's protection gaps, kind of consistency of pricing. And we've been really trying to use that to drive our decision making in the business and what we invest in. So here in the Asia business, we're investing in our own sort of unique customer team, a team that's purely dedicated to understanding customer journeys, understanding the value drivers, where we sit in, what makes QBE unique, and how we can dial up some of those differentiators to meet the needs of our customers. And we're investing more now than we ever have sort of previously in customer first principles.
Yeah, it sounds as though you guys are really reflecting upon what would be the best needs in terms of serving the customers at the forefront. And I do have a final question for you. How can insurers foster a culture of continuous innovation while managing risk effectively?
Yeah, well, the beauty is that's made all the more simple if we have that common purpose at the end of that. So if why we're innovating, why we're managing risk, again, is all about the customer, then we really can't make a lot of bad decisions along the way, because there will be trade-offs. And I think most importantly, if we're putting the trade-off on the bias on terms of the customer, it'll be generally a better decision. But I think structurally, innovation, we sort of look at it in a few ways. We've got incremental innovation. We are a big legacy-driven industry. There's lots of core products that customers still require today, and they're very used to purchasing. So we need to incrementally improve those, whilst making sure we're sort of thinking about some adjacent innovation. So how do we add complementary offerings? So a little bit more about how do we bring some risk prevention services to the forefront of our offering, and not just offer a policy that responds when something goes wrong, but using all the data we have to think about what are 4 or 5 attributes of a good risk performer that doesn't have those types of claims, and bringing that forward. So we're investing in those. That's adjacent. And so we got about 80% incremental, about 10 to sort of 15% adjacent. And then the last is the disruptive, sort of 5 to 10%, is where we're really thinking about totally new product concepts, totally new sort of embedded journeys for customers and thinking about that digital distribution. But it's a transition, and we've got to manage our time that we spend in those three quadrants, roughly sort of 80, 15, and sort of 5%. And then that will sort of grow over the next 5 to 10 years. And I imagine we'll be spending much more time on disruptive innovation in the 5 to 10 year horizon. But one, we've got to expect it. We've got to manage our time and investment, and then give our permission to our teams to try and fail a little bit, which will come with innovation.
Definitely. It sounds as though QBE really is taking a lot of things all at once. So I guess it's really about what you guys are prioritizing in the moment. And it sounds as though there's a lot of exciting, innovative stuff that's happening as well. And thank you so much, Rob, for your time. And this was Rob from QBE Asia.
Thank you.